He think he is, calling me by my first name. And I say coldly, Schenectady. Who do you work for, Dick? Says the psychiatrist, smiling again. General Electric.
Hello.
You like your work, Dick?
What's up, guys?
He says with that same
It's
big
Prison
smile
Mike.
on his face.
Just finished the tournament that I'm
going to
gonna
have anything
review,
to do with him.
and the reason
Three
is
questions, and then the fourth one is completely different.
wait, hold, it's
Do you
just
think people talk about you? He asks in a low, serious
my
tone.
bad. Sorry.
I light up and say, sure. When I go home, my mother often tells me how she was telling her friends about me.
Sorry,
He
hold
isn't
up.
listening to the explanation. Instead, he's writing something down on paper. Then again, in a low, serious tone, he says,
This is a hilarious book. So basically we had so it's what is the date today? 15th December. I mean, this is not that good of a goal, but I reached 350,000 hands for the year, which is about 3.5 times more than last year. And this includes the fact that I played less in the later half of the year, and I might be like 50,000 for the next 15 days. I think a lot had to do with the sit and goes and stuff like that. And also I want to do it on track sites, so like I might be over 400,000, but yeah, it should be achievable given the volume has gone up quite a bit. And today was probably like 10 games, probably the lowest volume, but I don't know, I came back, played a lot, came back from like, a little bit of sickness, but anyways, I don't like talk about it anymore. Had a somewhat on and off around like Diwali time, and then festival in India where there was a series on PokerStars. Shipped a couple tournaments, but then after that, like, I would be only able to play like 1 or 2 tables at a time, which is just not how I like. It's not the software. Like, I sometimes don't like some of the Indian softwares because they're just not responsive. But like, if you've got ACR, if you've got 888, WPN, which is what at 12:30, like, I'm just waiting for Lafev, so I've got like about 45 minutes, even though that tournament's there's another tournament between, but so I thought I'd just go over the only MTD I played on PokerStars. I was gonna play 2. I accidentally, there's the 3:30 Sunday Storm. I accidentally registered the one above it, which is like low stakes, a PKO. But this was like the major that I played. This is all the hands, no re-entry at this point, because I also like was able to play 3 or 4 hypers and just get to that number, which is exactly where I'm at, 350k. So usually I would go, if I was just going over hand history, I'd go over like, starting from like wherever I find the lowest win rate, but obviously this is not enough hands. Also, there's not enough time. That's the problem. So we'll just have to go over all of them. And these hands that are double marked are marked for going over with on pile, and then there might be some other ones that I just want to look over them maybe. I also registered a bit late for this tournament. Just been a bit slow today. So we're gonna replay all the hands. And as soon as I hate this feature, man. So there might be. Surely didn't do anything here. Yeah, this is a mix. We can mix calling or 3-betting. I think it's pretty. Yeah, I think it's a big set, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're just gonna, we can bet size up on this sort of board, especially with Jack 10 on the board. Like our 3-betting range hits that board quite well as like he will have some hands that he will continue with that. We can even like take a 2 bet if he does decide to do that with something like King Queen, which is surely in his calling 3-bet calling range, open calling range. Sorry. This is a pretty decent card to barrel on, and I think an overbet is fine here. So yeah, it's already in like the two. I think I'm definite an overbet or a pot size bet is the way to go here. But that's just from it's my opinion. Let's just do it. So I'm gonna have to close Winamax. Hold on, let me just close some programs there. And let's start with the. Come on, son. Can't double click. Yeah, let's go for it. But anyways, we'll continue. And then the goal of this is to oh, sorry, I didn't click go. The goal of this hand history review is just we don't have that much time. Fuck. To just like go over, and since I get coached in a by someone, just to like show people the importance of being coached and what you learn from it and how you can grow your game. So yeah, this he made it like min open, but yeah, I think this is, we can 3-bet here, but I think calling here is the right play. A lot of people will like over 3-bet here. If we're in position, I think it's fine. We're gonna get more value from like just, we don't want to get into a situation where we 4-bets and like, yeah, he's from small blind, 100 big blinds, to like let go of this sort of equity, and also get that little thought in your brain that okay, he's from small blind, he's wide, probably like, anyways, he's got some equity even if he like calls it off at 9-10. So this is I think the right answer here. And also this post flop are better where we have to take them to a part of the game tree where we own them. So it's basically what we're going to do. And here there's no need for C betting. I don't know if it's by like strategy or by just him not hitting anything. I think it's the latter probably. But when you do open, you don't C bet as often, because when I call, I also have somewhat of a similar range that has it's not going to have like again 6-7 offsuit in it. It's going to have some kind of like decent combo, which so you're by mixing from small blind and not just limping first in, always you do give up some C betting. Your C betting goes way down. And then this card, he bets, we just call, because why would we do anything else? Why would we fold? No way. Why would we raise? Right, there's no draw out there. We have having the spade there is fine. If that was a 5 of hearts, I don't know if it's better for us or not, but I think it is better because it just basically breaks out all flush draws. The one it does bring in, we have these kind of blocks is going to be indifferent. So how do we block it? Well, first of all, we block queen jack suited, queen jack of spades, right? We block jack 10, like a lot of stuff that you would have like bet that turn with the like flush draw coming in, but with like flush getting introduced into his range. But any case, we have a possibly like 6 outs here, and because I think he's going to protect his queen, if he does hit one, I think he's going to over C bet. I don't know his exact stats. And I'm just gonna do. Can we do session stats only? He is C betting out of position way too much, and in position it's just something's odd here. His total c-bet is small. No, that's fold to c-bet. C-bet in position is 33. C-bet out of position is so basically like he opens and he has c-bet. So that delayed c-bet is kind of weird. Just like want to look at some turn stuff. It's not really that important. Okay. I mean, seems like a passive player. On the flop does c-bet out of position quite a lot. So like if he opens, he does c-bet. I don't know if it's for opens and like, or like seems like a pretty limpy type player anyways. And I potted this. I think it's completely fine with nothing coming in. He doesn't really have the 2 5s. The flush is bricked. He doesn't have a queen. And again, I'm gonna run this hand too. Yeah, no, we're running a different one. He called with like that. I don't understand that call. Call a bet. Anyways, reverse stats are always going to be a bit, we're not gonna have that much, but we still have a decent enough sample size. Like so half the time he just calls, half the time he folds. But damn, he doesn't. He can fold a. A7 is probably a fold here. Facing a positive bet, but like it'd be a better bluff catcher than Ace4, which is just absolutely nothing. He has the ace of spades, so it's not like we bricked. Like it's not the right suit ace of ace to have. It's not, so it's less likely we bricked a flush draw. And then he unblocks kind of all 7x, 5x even the deuce x and queen obviously. So yeah, I don't get it. There's no straight on the board. He has a blocker to it anyways. If there was a straight draw, that like I was trying to like, it doesn't make any sense, their call. That's what I'm trying to say. For now we're just gonna okay. Yeah, this is a fold. Yep, this is fine. This is a fold now, but this is a mix, I think. This is a bit loose, but it's fine. We're gonna be betting this board, obviously. Yep. Yeah, like Jack 8, Jack 9 might be a call. I think this is a fold. It's just about a fold. Like Jack 6 is definitely a fold. Like, this will have to gin it to like make a straight. The player's opening from under the middle position, sort of low jack basically, but still I think it's fine to fold here. It's tempting to call, and calling there wouldn't be the worst thing. Yep, this is fine. And this is fine too. We're not going to be folding to a 3-bet, 4-bet. Like suited kings are pretty well, they're good for calling 3 bets, but I think this 4-bet can be called here too. I hope I have marked this hand. But I mean, like, this is like really thin, but also we're in position, we're deepish, and also we've got it. Like, suited kings are awesome. Suited kings are awesome. That's what I wanted to say. He checks. He's got a bit more than pot left. I just slam it in. Didn't want to like face a raise if I see bet, because this board really doesn't hit me. Like it does hit me in the sense that like I can have 9s. I can also have I can have 9s and 8s maybe, not 6s though. And then I have jacks plus 10s plus basically. And sometimes like I'm not doing this with ace king. I probably just jack jam or something like that. This is a board that he's not like 4-betting 9s. Probably is like the bottom of his range, so like he doesn't have an 8 or a 6, but he can definitely have something especially on a rainbow board where if we see bet here, so we could check back as well. That's another option. So that's why I have this hand will also go into, checking it out. But like he's got close enough to like. Usually my sims will have 150% bet sizing as well in them, which is close to what he has, and that's basically what we've bet effectively. So just have to check whether that's a thing or not. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think this is a fold. Yeah. Whatever. And that was a fold, of course. This I have a read on this guy. Like yesterday, this it was a PKO, like, but there was a raise, a re-raise, a jam. All 60 or 50 big line. I got jammed 50 big line with jacks, and he like tank called with ace queen offsuit, with players tracked behind him who did end up calling. He said man flying, spiked up queen, like, and generally his dads as well. I would have just defended here if this 3-bet hadn't come in. And you can notice like this player is just at this time I didn't have the hard on, but I was just noticing this player was just from the button as well as generally just very active. He plays cash, I know, and he's pretty aggro there too. We have aces, nobody bites. We have ace 5 suited, someone does. I'm not at all convinced by this hand, and actually I just want to put it in there. I think this is fine, but I think we can be lower too. We can also check here sometimes. I'm just gonna have to look it up, either from like an aggregation report or just run it, or just look at it. There's many resources available. All right, we're almost done with the other. Well, we're done. Sorry. So the skip frames are now. Okay, here I decided to. Yeah, this is fine. I think we can also just call. I think just calling is fine. This is just a pre-flop thing, so yeah, I'll have it. I'll look at it later. Actually, you know what? Why do it later when just at least this one we can just look at. How many big blinds are we effective? 100, right? Basically versus that guy. So, and he's opening from cutoff, and we need no. There's a middle position open. Low jack folds, cutoff calls. Okay, and small blind. We need small blind strategy. It was MP open and cutoff call. So that's basically the gun plus 2. We're in small blind, right? No, we're in big blind. Oh, so we need big blind strategy, my bad. So we've got under gun plus 2. We got it right. 8-7 suited is basically predominantly I don't know if you guys can see it clearly. It's predominantly a raise. So we've got under gun plus 2. So we're just counting from the dealer button, right? Cutoff calls. Even if it was like hijack opens, cutoff calls, I think it'd probably be the same. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Like it's a bit less. Yeah, I mean it's pretty similar ranges. It's just like some frequency difference. But yeah, we got it right. So yeah, it's important to and also like it's important to just see other stuff, like other like what would we have done with like ace 5 suited, like where does this taper down. 9-8 suited, which is something 10-9 suited is fine. People will obviously they love always raising with this hand, not just squeezing. And 9-8 suited and 10-8 suited and like these kind of connectors, but they kind of don't do it as often with like queen jack suited They do it way too often with king jack offsuit, and 8-7 offsuit. They'll just do it because of this proxy of like 9-8 suited 8-7, like, and probably won't go this far down, which is basically a mix. Um, and then this, it just sometimes depends on certain types of players. Like in the 6 max, for instance, I'd probably taper this down a little bit, the frequency of raising, because there's not that much in the pot to begin with. So it's not only just attacking a capped range right here, it's also about the fact that starting part in a 6 max is always going to be small, right? So the starting part is 294. That's because it's 10% antis and only 6 players. So that's just 2.1 big blind, right? A bit close to 2.1 big blind. It is exactly 2.1 big blind. So and like if it was like, you know, at least not more players, it'd be like 2.5. If it was bigger antis, it'd be like, you know, more, like we'd earn more. So that's the main reason. So it'll be far greater. Like the EV of that would be much better because there's more in the pot. I mean that's what's driving our strategy in some ways. Like if you had to distinguish it from cash, that would be like one factor. Is we can play shitty hands, because I mean I'm not saying this is a shitty hand, but it is like somewhat down the, you know, it's somewhat thin, and I mean we'd be doing this with at certain stack depths with really bad combos, especially heads up, and that would be the reason because we've already paid the rake when we're not paying rake every hand, versus cash where you pay the rake every hand. If you didn't know. Anyways, we get called. C-bet is fine, I think, on this board. And on this deuce, I think just have to go for it twice. Sizing, this actually goes into like, why not? Like find a. I'm sure that I have. The thing with like 6 max is like, I like to build the, like the starting part, being slightly different, may yield some like different results. So even though I have a lot of sims built, like when I do my own hand history review, I don't know why I don't default to some of those. They're really good for like your scaling up aggregation reports, actually looking at the broader picture, looking at other combos, and generally better. But I don't know, it's just out of habit. So that'll happen. But how much time do we have? Shoot, I'm gonna have to just late registered by. We still have 3 minutes till the tournament. One of the tournament starts. That thing. Yeah. Could be 3-bet, could be a call there. I don't really know. Like, it's just pre-flop stuff. We can always figure it out. We open on this board. It's 3 Broadway board. I'm just gonna go ham and folds, and I'm just gonna mark that. I do have cutoff versus. Sorry, where? Low jack versus button. Again, like the difference here is the fact that it's 6 max, but it's not that much of a difference. But you can see the starting board is smaller. But obviously this board, like with range, and the thing is like, it's like, it's not early position, but like say 6 max, he thinks it's early position, whatever. Like we are like one of the first. We are the first one to raise, right? So some just heuristically to people, it just looks like, you know, the first one to raise, like early-ish position. This is the earliest position we can be on this. So what's usually in our range here, that is bluff. Pocket pairs, like on this board especially, we can have some. So we can have pocket pairs. So let's say we have each of like the 3 kind of bluffs we can have. We can have a pocket pair that has 6 combos. We can have a something like 9 suited, like 9-10 suited, even 10 jack suited, but still like that wouldn't necessarily, that would be pretty much the same thing as having 8s there, except for the fact that it would block some king jack and like king 10, which is good. Also we do have 1 club, which is good. But anyway, so that's the other. So we have 6 combos of a pair, just like 8, and we can just say like 8-9 suited. We will have 4 combos of that. So that's 6 plus 4, 10. And then we can also say, 9-10 is more like, well, yeah, we can say that you know, we'll also have some like weak Broadway, something like King 9 suited is part of that range. So that's all the 4 combos, right? So it's like a weak suited Broadway, though that might interact with this board, but it's not like necessarily going to be like an ace all the time. Although a lot of it will be suited aces. There'll be a lot of suited kings, a lot of suited jacks, and queens, and like King 9, King 10, like stuff like that. Obviously, King 10 got there, but like that doesn't matter. The fact is that that's usually the bluffs that we're going to be having here. So let's say King 9 suited. It's King 9 of clubs. This particular hand, exact combo. And then we have, say, 8 9 of also clubs, so backdoor, whatever. So those are our bluffs here. And I don't want to check the sizing, but generally, and then if you look at like what sort of hands that we have here that are like value hands, like we just take one combo of, let's just think about ace king here, offsuit. That's 14 combos, right? 12 combos, right? Sorry, 12 combos. So ace king offsuit, which is a value hand, which we have here, is equivalent almost to 6 plus 4 plus 4. So pair having 6 combos, and then the 2 suited class of hands having 4 each. That's 14. 6 plus 4 plus 4. Versus 12 combos of just one combo having 12 combos. Like one value hand has 12 combos versus 3 different classes of bluffs we have here that have the same number of combos almost. So that's the sheer amount of value we have on this in this part, especially if it was like say 8 or 9 handed and we were under the gun. So our value hands outnumber our bluff combos almost 3 to 1. It's the sheer amount of value combos we're gonna have. That one combo is almost the same amount of combos as 3 of our bluff combos combined. That means we need to be very efficient with our bluffs, if that makes any sense, right? Like we have such little bluffs, especially on this sort of board. Also on this kind of like part with like an ace and like even 2 Broadway board, that we need to be efficient with every single bluff that we have. Because we're going to be doing the same thing with our value hand, of which they're going to be like mostly like a lot of like, just because there's more combos of it, there's going to be more combos of the offsuit versions of it. There's more ace king offsuit than there's ace king suited. So just to take an example of one offsuit combo, that's a value combo. Now we don't know like, but value bet is something. So if we bet with that combo, is that bet gonna work more than 50% of the times? Well, then it's a value bet, and with ace king, it probably is going to, because I think we've got an out. We could have backdoors with the king of hearts. He could float us with the worst, something like ace 10 with us blocking the king. He could have 2 pair here too, but unlikely that it's ace queen. I think he 3 bets with that, and I think ace jack is probably at the bottom. Jacks and queens, I think he 3 bets, aces we block. So anyway, so yeah, it's going to be a value bet. So because it's going to a value bet, a bet that works more than 50% of the time you bet it, right? So yeah, so sizing I'm going to check it out, but I think it's fine on a 3 Broadway board. So we basically need to be very efficient, and in some occasions I might just go 3 streets completely, like maybe geometrically, maybe we're just betting like the normal like 40% c bet, then barreling the turn, if it makes sense to, and then just going ham on the river. Also, though on some boards, the reason we would check would say like when we have aces here, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we might have to check twice. Not on this board, but like on with a set, say for example, with like ace on ace deuce 3 maybe. If you have ace 10 10, if you have ace 10 and the board's ace 10 10, kind of have to like check as well. So certain boards we are checking, because sometimes on those sort of boards we are also going to be checking 7s, so it protects our checking range, and we can equally like bet with 7s as well, so kind of like doing the same thing, basically protecting our checking range. But yeah, just going on too much with that. We can also stop this sim and we'll go over that later. Pretty sure I just folded this after he opens to that sizing. Yeah, I think limping here is fine. I think delayed c-bet is also fine. Think on the flop we can go either way, but ace deuce 5, this I think is, if we bet it's going to be tiny. This 10 is really good. Doesn't matter really that we don't have any equity except for like a 3 ball. Like it's unlikely he has 2 like flush cards. Yeah, I'm fine with this, and there's a lot of 10x in his range and ace-x that raises or isolates us. So oh, he ends up calling, and then I just gave up. I think it's fine. Like, he doesn't have king jack in his range. None of the suits came in. Sorry, nothing really came in, to be honest. Though he can have some, like he isos queen 10 as well. Though he can have queen deuce, he can have a deuce, just a 5 as well. 5x, just random. So, but he probably would, I don't know, he'd be probably indifferent to bluff catching. I'll check it out. Never a bad thing to just, no matter how simple the spot looks, the more you look at them, the better you get. Just remember that he's just like hammering the raise button on from late position. Almost thought about like calling here, or did I think about 3-betting, but I forget. But obviously would have folded here, where a lot of people would have, I hear them say, oh, I had a queen, I had queen 6, we sent him playing. Send 2 of them playing. Yeah, this is a fold. Yeah, I think I like this ISO. With Jack 10 off, so yeah, this is actually a fold. I think this is fine fold. Yeah, it's a fold most likely. I just marked it just to like look at it later. Okay, then we're 9 minutes late. It's fine. I'm not registered. I mean, I have to, but I can't be. It's 11:09 p.m. Can't be here till like 11:24, which is when the break was. Or 11:30 basically. This is an open. I kind of went a little bit exploitative here and checked, so we just soak up so much of the board. This is a pretty decent card to go on the turn. So, come on the turn, that's what she said. I think the sizing, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna mark this just to see like if we should be like exploitatively checking there. So he's opening a lot. I fold again. Yeah, this is a fold, in my opinion. Yeah, I think certain things, I'm pretty sure that they just come and they settle in your mind. But I mean, if it comes up again and I'm confused, I'm sure I'll check it out. Okay, hit 7. It's gonna, I think this is a decent 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a decent board to like put in a delayed c-bet. Multi-way though, this sizing is fine. Like we kind of want to get folds, but it's gonna be hard. Like actually, with unblocking and it's 3-way. There's something like kind of like, I think this is a pretty decent. It's not like the worst delayed c-bet, but because we have a lot of ace-x that we do check 3-handed, but and then the deuce comes, so he checks, we check back, which is absolutely standard. Like, don't think we can get a 10x to fold. You can have, you can be check calling with like a weak ace, wanting us to bet. He was just on the draw. I wonder if this king jack is just a call for him, or if he should ISO. I think it's probably an ISO. Squeeze, sorry, I'm not sure. It's just a pre-flop thing. You can always just look at it. So he does it again this time. This is decent suit. This is decent combo to actually do this with, because it makes no fucking money on post flop. Also, it's the polarized component of our value range, which is the top 15-20% of the hands, and when we block him from having us do 6, so we block like shitty kickers and like uh, basically shitty kickers we block with both of our hands that he can have. Also, like I would imagine like something like starting with a kicker of 7 is where people will start like raising and stuff. Like say king 7 offsuit, he might raise, king 6 offsuit, king 5 he might fold. Also, when we have exactly this combo, we block him from this like shitty middling part. No, like the bottom half of the deck, which we block him, but he's supposed to fold that anyways, right? So he's supposed to fold like something like 6-3 offsuit anyway. So when we block him and he raised, that means he didn't have that. Now he can have the top half, like top 20%. But where's the most of his combos coming from? Frequency wise, it's gonna be those like, like middling hands, and a lot of them are gonna fold here. So the only thing is that I messed up with the sizing. That's about it. And yeah, this is gonna be just a standard c-bet. So a lot of it he's also gonna call, which is fine with us, and we're gonna just throw out a bet. Like I said, this hand doesn't really make much money. It's probably the best board we could hope for, on average. Because we're not gonna gin this board as much as something like random, something this that we can just c-bet, take it up. Sometimes he will have something that connects. Sometimes we'll have a card that we can barrel as well. But I wouldn't go much beyond that. This is fine to check this board. And then I overbet here again with the flush draw. That's happened twice, and I've already marked the hand for looking at it later. But it's pretty clean, pretty solid. Okay. We just called pre-flop, by the way, which is I think with ace jack, I think it's perfect. On this 10, when we have both the club and the diamond, I think we can wrap the 10 because we've got got 45 combos of flushes and about 90 trips. In this situation, it's very easy to count combos. Like I have a like technique. Like this is a bit like overly made, but like you might like usually I start with like just marking it from the middle with the pairs, dissecting like diagonally, bisecting. Sorry, these are lines, not a anatomy thing. Yeah, what was I saying? So it's very easy to count combos, right? So how many combos of just queen X are there? Without the card removal, first of all, or 10x. Well, it's basically you can do it like you can do it basically. How we come to the combos, which is basically what pen is gonna. It's basically and choose R or combo R or something like that, which is basically how many combinations of like starting hands can we have, which is going to be 52 factorial divided by 2 factorial times in brackets 52 minus 2 n minus r, n over n factorial over r is what we're choosing, and choose r. So out of n collection of things we're choosing r, so that would be 50, so 50 factorial, so that will be like 52 times 51 divided by 2, because the rest, like 50 times 49, will just get cancelled, so that'll just come out to 1326. So if we wanted to choose certain amount of combos, we can choose it that way. Like if you wanted to choose, it's basic math in poker. If you think about it as like 13 ranks and 4 suits, so queen will always be like say we have to think about suited queen without the 2 paired queens. Just go from deuce through jack here. This is 10 and 11 and 12, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, and then offsuit is also going to be 12, right? It's going to be this way. Now, obviously, we don't want to do it this way for every hand, because then we're gonna start over counting and have problem with like eliminating stuff that we've already done. So that's why we have this sweet little formula. But just having this open, maybe, like, I'm pretty sure this is fine to have like open on the side. You can very easily count some combos. And I think this, just from experience, I think it's about 40-ish and 40 to 50 combos of flush draws, which play like this, and like 90 combos of strips, which we will have. So we have to fill in those 45 combos, like with, there's a gap between the value combos we have here versus the bluff combos. So how do we fill in that gap? We fill it in by sometimes wrapping these two tens, but making sure that we have something to fall back on. So that's where I did. The sizing is fine. He calls, and then we hit, like, all our bluffs sort of came in, except for the fact, like, if this was a club, then all of our bluffs came in, but like mostly all of them did. So I bet small. I think this is fine. If they hadn't, I would probably just bomb this. Any, like, some river, some not. But he ends up calling us with, what's up with, like, people call me so wide. No idea why. No idea what made him call that. I mean, GTO life, GG, I guess. He's got his name right. Yeah, that's a fold. Yeah, this is, I think, the second last hand. I'm gonna just review this with this left C betting. I think it's fine, and then just getting this in. I think it's not a big mistake. Whatever. The very next hand, this was kind of this hurt sharply, but not too much. 8 and 4, just had that hand where we bet that small amount without, like, he saw us that we bet the flop after 3-betting. He could think we were tilted, so same amount, same sizing, and like he calls. The 5, we bet bit largely, like, we're just geometrically betting, like we're setting up a river shove here. Because if he calls here, the pot's 10,500. If he calls another, like, we could even size this down a little bit, because if he calls here, this is going to be what, goes to 14,000. We're gonna have half the pot size bet left. I think I'd like to have more like 12,000, a bit more than just half pot. But this is fine. He raises. And I don't think I'm calling here, because that would just be ridiculous. And I'm just jamming. Like, versus this fella. Just got lucky. And we got sent flying. And that's that. We're just really quickly going to do that hand. So what was the situation there? Did we even 3-bet? Yeah, we did. Okay, my bad. Oh, sorry. Okay, so out of position can actually bomb this. That's insane. That's insane. But he decided to check. No, sorry. Wait, what? Yeah, he decided to check. We bet small. So, which is fine, like, he's checking half his combos. But that's interesting. Even with that, like, bit of knowledge, I realized that. And then we're betting 10 into pot of 16, 62%, and we bet 30%, and something. That's why I was saying, why is like ace 9 suited not in my range? I was so confused. Ace 9 suited also wants to bet that amount, and not the 5 that we did bet. So if we follow Pion how, it's basically like 2/3 pot size. But again, like that's what I was saying, like back when we started this Hennis reviews, that like on two-tone boards our bet size is gonna be bigger, and we're gonna on this texture especially with like Jack 10, because he's gonna have a lot of stuff that he calls with that gives us value. So like when we bet 5, he's folding 26, calling 63, doesn't have that many 2-bets, he's calling a lot, but when he checks, and when we bet 10, his calling isn't changing that much. There's certain 2-bets, and he folds a bit more, which is fine. We don't actually have a hand here. But in terms of calls, there's not that much of a difference. So if we look at 38% of his range is calling here. Sorry, bet 10. My bad. No, my bad. So 50%, about 50% of his range is calling. 50% is folding. Not many two bets. And if you bet 5, 65 is calling, and less is raising, and less is folding. So you can see that betting 10 is obviously more efficient here. In terms of like value, the hand that we're gonna get value from, we can still realize our equity. So it's not the end of the world. We can blow him off. We're still like blowing him off with like with 42% folds. And his strategy is basically gravitating towards what we're actually like. Even though we're fine with getting 2-bet, like say with kings, we can take a 2-bet. I said the same thing anyways. That's one of the reasons we can bet big, is because we can actually take a 2-bet, and we're gonna get like called by a lot more worse hands, even like worse flush draws, straight draws, nothing draws almost, some kind of gutties as well. We're probably getting overcalled by, well, it is a pretty, like king jack for example. Well, it's like it's a pure call. It's just not supposed to be in his range that much. Like he's probably over defending kings that he does have though, like king x suited, and even here with like one, and getting a lot of value from these with like an ace of spades. Sorry, he can't have an ace of spades, but just getting value from like stuff that connects with this board. So his main like, sure, you can just fold here, but like this is call and do it the way it happened. And yeah, I was like wondering what the fuck was going on. But he checks. And do we overbet with ace 9? I mean, there are overbets, overpot bets, but they're coming from at least a pair, and not king queens. That makes a lot of sense. This is 2x pot though, and we don't. No, it's not 2x pot. It's about 150%. Just interesting. Ace jack with an ace. I mean, almost all combos of ace jack. All of them actually. But like at a pretty low frequency. Like so, like in terms of combos, there's just going to be 0.004 combos. We're trying to get to 0.2 combos that we have that do this. So with the combo that we had, we can bet big. But there's better combos to do that with, which is non-flush combos, and basically this combo is like just majorly checking.